Well, the Jehovah's Witnesses have regular spots that they go to with their carts. And you might be well aware of their presence and when they turn up and when they don't. The whole aim of the Jehovah's Witnesses is to infiltrate the mind of their believers and possible new disciples, their followers, infiltrate their minds with their propaganda. And by way of theological abuse, that's what it is. It's all theological abuse, which is a very lethal and dangerous form of abuse. They cause a trauma bond with the followers, those involved in the religion, that causes them to defend false beliefs vehemently, and in doing that causes a trauma bond. Now, a lot of these Jehovah's Witnesses don't know anything about the organisation. Excuse me, we're just getting on the paddleboard. They're actually cognitive dissident. That means they've been trained to ignore possible truths or truths in preference to beliefs that suit the systems and policies of the organisation. Now, I know that sounds like complicated language, and to a certain extent it is, but the bottom line of it all is the Jehovah's Witnesses, through theological abuse, capture the minds of those who believe in the propaganda or who open themselves up to the propaganda. Once they've opened themselves up to the propaganda, then it causes a trauma bond, a cult trauma bond. The beliefs, the devotion and loyalty in terms of these people's religiousness is becomes stronger than their loyalties and commitments to their tribes, families, social groups, etc. It completely takes over the whole matrix of the person's mind. The religion must come first because it's got to do with God, or Jehovah, in their case Jehovah. They don't even know who Jehovah is, let alone know who they are themselves. They've got no clue of who Jesus is, believing that he is Michael the Archangel. They have no idea who Michael the Archangel is, as they believe he is Jesus, the Jewish Messiah. It's a very mixed up, infantile group of beliefs, comical, fantasy-like in the construct, but powerful in the grip that they get on the people that adhere to them. Once the trauma bond is infused into the mind of the prospect, or further down the line, the devotee, full devotion incurs. And it's no different to a dysfunctional relationship where somebody's with an addict or something like that, and they know they shouldn't be in the relationship, but they stay anyway against all good advice. Well, in the case of most religious people, what happens is they become so captivated with understanding what the Bible says, and this can take years, decades, because the Bible's one of these books that it's very hard to get to the bottom of. So you've got these people that get invited into and show an interest in these theological abusive beliefs and policies, and as I said, they get locked up and held into, by way of trying to make themselves right with Jehovah and apparently to be his friend, this journey down the theological abusive path to nowhere. And it's very egotistical, it's very isolative mentally, because most of your energy is going into fulfilling apparently what are the desires of Jehovah through service and fellowship and all this other typical Christian form of manipulation and control to hold you into the organisation. Quite diabolical, really, but it happens all the time. And what happens is, just by nature, these people overcommit themselves, or well, any commitment to the Jehovah's Witnesses is an overcommitment, but they overcommit themselves and become over-enthusiastic with serving in the cult. And this happens in many, many cults, and it's very, very sad when you watch somebody serving into something that really is just a road that leads to nowhere. A fanciful set of beliefs that they've decided to believe. It's all based on abuse, because lies and deceits are all forms of abuse. And then, once they've got you intrigued, and that's when they really put the claws in, because they'll test you out. They'll give you shit tests to check how your faithfulness and loyalty and commitment is going towards the organisation. So they give you shit tests and little tests to see if it's worth continuing to put their time into you. Because if you don't live up to their measurements relative to your progressive commitment to the organisation, you will not be shown, you'll be devalued, which is a form of narcissism. But it's pathological, because it's definitely how it's going to work. It's not a guess. It's not that it might happen. Oh no, it's going to happen. If you don't live up to their standards, the descending levels of devaluation will be put in place. So at first, in the love bomb phase, you'll be shown all the courtesies and likenesses as in a new relationship, intimate relationship. But as you don't conform, as you try and follow your conscience and just ask a few questions possibly about, hey, this ain't adding up, this didn't happen, Jesus isn't Michael the Archangel, and show resistance, like with somebody that's on drugs or drinking, and you say, hang on a sec, you're drinking too much or you're taking too much drugs, and eventually they drive you away. Well, that's for the right reasons, I guess. If you're with somebody that's an addict or an alcoholic and they're just not going to present themselves in a way that benefits themselves or the relationship, you're better off away from that person. Well, with the Jehovah's Witnesses, if you don't conform to their strict meeting schedules and door knocking and cart requirements, or if you show resistance in their beliefs, and it can be completely valid, and they will try and bamboozle you with their views, but if you're not buying into it, you'll start to fall into the devaluation phase of discipleship, and that goes with most religions. So the point of it all is you either go along with the facade, with the deception and lies, or you will be devalued and discarded, ultimately shunned. And it's well proven and well documented and well known that this is how most religions, and in particular the Jehovah's Witnesses, will work. You're better off staying away from it, not getting involved in it. If you are involved in it, you need to gently start to step backwards. Don't let on too much, because they will start to treat you viciously, because you're of no value to them anymore. As a matter of fact, you're a threat because you're not playing the game, and that could influence others to join you, and they don't want that. Micro-incrementally step back, regather your thoughts and thinking and your mind. Switch off from their propaganda and beliefs. Maybe you need a break from religion altogether, whatever the point is that is going to help you. Because it's not about religion anymore, it's about you. You've been theologically abused, and you need to accept that. And before they shun you, which they will, you shun them. Take it to them, resign, do whatever you have to do, get out, and then when you're ready, if you ever come to the place, begin to help others to get out of the cult, to get their lives back, and to live the life that God planned for them in the sunshine, enjoying each day as we're given it, not worrying about whether the world's going to end and all this nonsense and rubbish. To help them regain their sanity and come back to reality. And the world will be a nicer place.